Layn Turo University. My name is Conrad at Layn. I'm going to teach you how to negotiate to purchase a vehicle as soon as possible so you get the best rate, even if it's a dealership. There's a few things you have to do. First and foremost, before you even walk into the dealership, I would strongly encourage going to the dealership's website. Most stand-in dealerships that you can walk into usually have a website that they post their cars on. I'll really review those websites and look at the vehicles, pull down the VIN numbers of all the cars you're interested in, and then call them and ask them if there's any cars that are not basically added to the website. This is quite often. Oftentimes, dealerships will have cars in inventory that they have it updated on the website. And if they say yes, that means it's actually in your advantage because no one knows the car has been listed yet or is even there. Because as soon as the car is listed on the website, that means other people could be possibly looking at the vehicle too. Next, you get the VIN number. Put the VIN number before anything else. Most dealerships actually give you a free Carfax report. Once you look at the Carfax report, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. It's usually for free anyway, and most dealerships provide this. Doesn't matter if it's an online dealership or a walk-in dealership. Always look at the Carfax and then go to a website called nhtsa.gov, which regulates vehicles, safety recalls. And what you want to do is oftentimes people make the mistake of purchasing a car, not looking at a Carfax report, or looking at a Carfax report and not looking at the NHTSA. NHTSA furnishes their information to Carfax, meaning NHTS, any information about recalls is on a Carfax report comes from nhtsa.gov. It's a government agency that's dedicated to actually making sure the vehicles are safe and under proper protocol. So what you want to do before you even look at a Carfax report, or even after you look at a Carfax report, do not buy your car until you go to nhtsa.gov. Now that you have that all taken care of, you go to the website, it'll show if there's any recalls. Always make sure the number is 0. If it says 0, you're good to go. At least it's not in a safety recall. But you always want to do that. A lot of people buy cars, put it on a Turo platform, Turo flags it, and now they're stuck with payments for 2 or 3 months waiting for the car to get cleared and get a safety recall cleared. Terrible thing to do. It's a waste of money. You're in the negative, really bad. Next step, you make sure you walk into, shake their hand, go to the dealership, shake their hand, let them see your face. Always go at least minimum 3 times per month. And the reason why I do 3 times, yes, you're trying to find a car or a specified car or a specific car, but it's not about the car. Yes, you're trying to buy a car. You're trying to build a relationship because as you build your Turo business, you want to walk into a dealership where they know you by first name basis. They let you know as soon as they get inventory, you're on their speed dial. They know you're a serious buyer. They respect you. You treat them with the utmost respect, and they know you bought cars from them, and they would rather give you a deal than someone else that they don't know. So when you go on the first time, you go and introduce yourself. Say, hey, my name's Conrad Layn. Maybe bring some donuts, maybe bring some bottled water. As you get to know them better, you start figuring out what they like. Maybe they like pizza, you order some pizza. You don't think long term. This is why I succeed and why I own 21 cars and I'm succeeding, no areas to tenant. I think outside the box and I'm able to get better deals because I learned how to become friends with my colleagues or with my people that I'm buying cars from. And you have to do this too. So you walk in and give them your business card. I'll highly recommend making a business card so that they have it, so that at any time they can call you immediately, or at least just give them your number. And then at that point, you bring in a pizza, you bring in donut, you bring in a bottle of water, something that they'll like, give it to the office. Then you introduce yourself, do your best to make rounds, introduce to everyone there, walk into your office, say, hey, my name's Conrad, I'm a serious buyer, just here to look at a few cars. Even if you don't buy anything that day, make sure to get used to your face. Next step you do. You, after shaking their hands and getting to know them, you basically ask them about the cars, and then you actually do your best to go online and pull up, it could be Kelley Blue Book, it could be other websites, and find similar year, make, and models of the vehicle that they currently have that you're interested in, and try to see if they're giving a good rate. That's the first part, how you negotiate. And before you buy any car, and business 101, when you actually purchase a vehicle, the strongest you are in a deal is always the beginning of a deal. So when you're in the beginning of a deal, always make sure you buy, before you buy, get everything written down if you want a lower rate, because as soon as you buy the car, you pull the trigger and you try to go back and get some discounts, it's done. Always do your part at the beginning of the deal so you have the most power in the deal. Very, very important to do this. So always make sure, hey, you're selling it for $15,000. I saw over here it's for $11,000. Don't buy the car for $15,000, for example, and then say, hey, by the way, I bought it for $15,000. I just found a car for $11,000. Can you give me a refund? No, you already bought the deal. Too late. Or even worse, you go to them and say, hey, without any proof, you just try to lowball them. Nothing wrong with getting a deal, But when you lowball people, it rubs people the wrong way. So it's better, besides lowballing, just give them an empty promise. Say you see cars for 15,000 or 20,000, you say, hey, can I buy it for 10,000? That's not good. What you have to do is show proof that other dealerships are competing with them, and make it seem like, hey, you're gonna go to those other places, and hey, that's you should probably go to those other places if you're giving me a better deal. And worst case scenario, if they can't bring out the price for whatever reason, it's usually easy for them to add stuff into it. So what you want to do essentially is when they actually add, if they say, hey, we can't go any lower, or hey, we can't give you a discount, say, hey, can you add in rental car coverage? Now when your car breaks down, they give you free rental car coverage. Or can you actually add in PDR, which is paintless dent removal? So if your car says dented while it's on a Turo trip, you get it back. At that point, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket, and they could basically just knock out the dent for you, so you don't have to pay for a claim or anything, or pay a big deductible. Or hey, can you add on wheels that wheel warranty? Start adding it. If you can't go lower, or even if you did a good job of negotiating, brought the price down, you can't get any lower, start trying to add in free stuff like that. It's usually easier for them to add on benefits, and that's how you actually do that. That's how you negotiate to get it more in your favor. You first show them comparisons to other vehicles that are selling at a lower price. If you can't find anything for a lower price, that means you can find a good deal. You could take it, or you can even still negotiate and say, hey, I don't want it. If they say no the first time, that's fine. You can buy it the first time. You can always leave and come back. And that's what I say, at minimum 3 times. The first time you want to go in the beginning of the month, because the beginning of the month, that's usually when they get their new inventory. That's usually when they're overzealous and they want to actually sell, but at the same time, they're not really too scared to hold back, because they know they have 30 days to actually sell this car, or 31 days, depending on what month you're in. But if you don't like this the price, you leave and you walk away and you come back again the second time. Now they know you brought donuts, you have good rapport with them, you didn't come off as a low baller because you simply just walked away, and they know you're serious as you came back. And if the car's still sitting there, guess what? Worst case, the car's gone. Oh well, there's more cars in the sea, or more cars on the road that are going to be coming in anyway. But if the car is still there, that's another negotiation tactic. You'd be like, hey, I came here 2 weeks ago and the car's still here. What's going on? They say, whatever excuse they give you, the point is it's still there. You'd be like, hey, you remember that offer I had? Can you guys accept it now? Now they might consider it. And then you pull the trigger, and now you could buy the car at a lower rate. If they still say no for your offer, is either A, you can leave it or buy it if you want to, or you can walk away and you come back a third time at the end of the month. The reason why you must come back at the end of the month is because now you're at the point where it's at the end of the month where I'm in sales too. And what happens is, at the end of the month, there's different bonuses, there's different, they're trying to hit those certain metrics. They're trying to actually sell the car, get them out on the books, especially when you have high sales volume office. They want to keep records. They're usually competing with other territorial offices. So you have to understand that psychology that, hey, towards the end of the month, they might be more eager to give me that rate reduction, because they're more desperate now. So understand that first. Next step, when you walk in the first time you meet them, on the first, second, or third, but especially the first time, you look at the plaques on the wall, or look at some dealerships have LED screens where they have the best seller of the month, or top sellers of the month, or top sellers for the year. Those are people you need to talk to. The reason you need to talk to them is they're usually highly motivated. They usually understand how to get deals done. They usually have direct relationships with banks and banking institutions, and they usually are go-getters. So not saying that other people aren't, but you want to go to the highest because they want to stay the highest. So if they're the top sellers for the month, top seller for the year, top seller for the district, or in regards to the territory, you want to go to that person that you see those placards in that dealership where it says, hey, this guy is the best salesperson of the year or of the month. Go to that person, because they usually have deals. They're trying to get deals done, and that's the best way to get it done. This is a strategy I use all the time, and it works out well. You can really use this, especially when you go into walk-in dealerships. Online dealerships are a bit different. You have to actually call a bit more, and they can definitely oftentimes reduce prices online, but it's a little harder because usually what you see is what you get. But the good part is, if you actually go online, most online dealerships have a dealership that you can walk into. Your goal is go to the dealerships that you can walk into, even if it is online originally, and pick up the car. Now, if it's a complete online dealership like Carvana, it's hard to do that, but it is possible. But you have to negotiate a lot more. Use the same strategy, but start comparing cars like Carfax, go out Kelly Blue Buck, and look at what's wrong with the car, or maybe you see that the car hasn't got an oil change for a while. You start negotiating stuff like that. You start going through the Carfax and finding items that don't look right to you, or look a little old, or hey, when was the last time you got an oil change? Shows it was done 8 months ago, should have been done 4 months ago. That's for example. Or hey, this car was in an accident. I see there's certain dents here. I know you guys say you guys already marked this, but hey, why is there an accident here and you start just using whatever facts you can get. And especially if you go on NHTSA and you see, hey, this had a recall, or this has a recall coming up, or this has a recall. Now, I wouldn't recommend buying that car, but if you do decide to buy the car because you feel it's a great deal and you understand how to take care of a car that's in recall status, then you could use that against them and say, hey, I'll buy this car, but can you reduce the price because obviously there's a recall on this vehicle. Stuff like that. That's how you actually do it. Basically, use every information you can that's legitimate. That's what separates you from someone who's a low baller. A low baller just comes in and gives an empty price, no proof. They just want a low price. We all want to save money, but you don't want to come off that way. What you want to do is show actual proof. So even if they want to say you're a low baller, no, I'm not a low baller. The car hasn't got an oil change, and it's supposed to get oil change 4 months ago, but it shows it was 8 months ago, or it shows it hasn't been done for a year, or it shows that this car got in an accident, you didn't list this here, or hey, this car is in an open recall right now, you didn't list that. Stuff like that. That's how you do it. That's how you get a negotiate a better rate with a dealership. But more importantly, when you walk into the dealership, always look at the plaques on the wall or the LED screen that has the top sellers' names and talk to those people specifically, because they're usually more motivated. They usually have a lot more experience, and they usually try and get deals done. They're high performers. So people like that will usually cut you a deal. And even if they don't, as I mentioned, the first time you go, okay, second time, and the third time is usually a charm at the end of the month, because at the end of the month, they're usually more desperate. They usually want to get the deals cranked out, and then there you go. Hey, now they accept your deal. That's how you do it, especially if the car's been sitting there. That's proof. You're like, hey, the car's been sitting here. I'll take it off your hand, and that's another commission for you. That's how you do it. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram, Conrad Layn. Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Like the video. Love the video. If you want to learn everything about Turo, follow me and subscribe, and like this video. Smash that like button, and Conrad Layn out. Peace.